Greetings, blessings, salutations. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott, here to share some, whatever. I'm going to offer my encouragement, my inspiration, my faith, some of the intellectual ideas I've been considering. But let me first start with gratitude. Thank you. Thank you guys for your support. Today, the thumbnail, having a little fun. It is Talcott Tuesday, after all. I woke early this morning and found my way onto the Zetetic Warrior platform just for a little bit, if I remember right. Golly, geez, that was early. That was a long time ago. This has been a busy day. That was the point. My day kind of got away from me, and I just scheduled the stream not that long ago, and I was running a couple of minutes late for those who were present for the scheduled time. So thank you for your understanding, your patience. And you know what? We got people dropping in. I got some ideas, but some things I wanted to talk about. I just dropped the link for the panel for those who may wish to join the conversations. Earlier today, I was so fired up, so inspired with ideas and thought. I almost changed my intentions and started an early stream, but I was committed to getting some stuff done, just some tasks around the house and a few errands of, keep yourself going. Anyway, I had a productive day, but it was spent offline. Now, the inspirations I had earlier, this is where I would love to talk to some people, but I had the idea of using these platforms, these technologies, to perhaps, and I've talked about this previously in a different way, but finding the right message as like an open message, open letter to Congress, so to say, like a public message that with some efforts might be able to reach some people. Because I was thinking earlier today, Jack, okay, say this all this happens and somehow you get the attention of Congress. What's the conversation going to be like? It'll all depend on the situation and who the conversation's with. But I imagined it might be something along the lines of how many, addressing to the roughly 600 Congress and the administration, whatever that comes to, I would ask, and I understand there is a separation between politics and religion, but how many in that group call themselves or identify themselves as Christians? I'm sure there would be a raise of hands of some sort. And then the next question, for the others who may not identify that way, surely you have heard the story. So the story of the Christ, the leadership of the Christ, the willingness to die in order for others to know the truth and be safe, that's the leadership America deserves. America deserves better leadership. Simple as that. It seems that discussions of peace or a focus of peace, those are like don't have time for that nonsense. From a distance, I'm not involved in the day-to-day exchange, but didn't the House hit the brakes on doing any sort of business? They're playing some bullshit games of playing different positions of authority. And in the meantime, I don't pay close attention to this stuff, but they're sure feeding the frenzies of war. Well, I'm mind fucked. I actually believe this is an appropriate question. See, war should be a last option. That shouldn't even be a question if you're in any form of leadership. The purpose is to protect and serve, right? The greater good. So starting war, overthrowing governments, picking sides in conflicts that we fucking funded and helped promote, we as in the American political system. See, what I've been realizing, brothers and sisters, is, as an adult, we get the government we allow. We get the government we choose. People have been brainwashed. It's that simple. People have been brainwashed into becoming afraid of the truth, afraid of change. People seem to live in perpetual states of confusion. Admittedly, I've shared my story. I used to. Brothers and sisters, imagine if, and I firmly believe this, we deserve better leadership. So here, I don't know who views my stream, but here, for any of you listening who might be a boss or an authority, it's time to check yourself. Figure out what your real purpose is. See, because this was another thought I had the other day. We've got actually collectively, if you can allow this, consider this, we've got to get out of the business mindset. That's some of the discussions I've heard regarding the strategies over in the Israel-Palestine conflict. It's really easy to strategize when you use only logic and look at these groups and organizations as actually things. And then you take out that there's human beings involved in this. See, logically, it would make sense. You want to exterminate a terrorist organization that is a result of a lot of different conditions over the years and a lot of definitions, right? So, brothers and sisters, we live in a corrupted world. My faith has been growing that God is with us. Now, I don't know. I get a lot of people who say they understand and they know what I'm talking about. And yet, based on the results, I'm pretty sure that it's not been understood. Earlier, I was going to do, and I may do this tomorrow, come back to this thought a little more, because I had this loosely put together in my head earlier about following the logic regarding the truth of God. See, in this paradox of duality that we share that in our human experience, opposites and polarities will be the same. And then there's also a connection between similarities. An example is gratitude and love. They are separate, but they are inseparable. Without gratitude, there's no love. Without love, there's no gratitude. Pretty simple. So, God and the truth are the same. Because the ultimate creator of the cosmos, of the universal space for time and form to be, that creator is that which reveals the truth. The creator is the author of history. We're just like the interpreters and the note keepers, the ones who document and participate. We are part of the creation. The evidence of the Creator is in the creation. And we are the creation that is evidence of God. So God is the truth. If you can follow that logic, it makes sense. They're both very, very powerful. A little mysterious. They will adapt themselves. God and the truth will adapt themselves for each of us. We choose the truth that serves us. We believe in the God we want to believe in. It's all our choice. So God and the truth are, and love and the Christ is with us. I started thinking about these concepts earlier when I was mowing the yard and doing some tasks. The stories of Jesus, Yeshua, from a couple thousand years ago, from that book everyone fights about, claims to know. So here's a man, through his path, becomes an expression for us being humanity. Through his form comes an expression of the divine. It's demonstrated with the Christed mind, the Christed being, one that is divinely merciful, divinely loving, divinely giving. So I imagine that at some point through whatever process, beings like us were formed. And in the story, it's, it's God that creates out of the clay and breathes in the breath of life. And here we are. Well, I imagine in that creation, there was a perfect specimen, right? It was truthful, never lies, never makes excuses. It's committed to God and the truth and love and service. It knows its place here on earth as a man. So that mindset, you can imagine conceptually, with the creation of the first man of this kind, that may have been the intention. And so that divine, eternal, Christed mind it's eternal. It's here from the beginning. It'll be till the end. And it was demonstrated through the actions and words, recorded in the words and passed down to us. It's in the Christ. The point is, the Christ is love. The truth through love. God through the Christ. Oh, I'm getting some visitors. Welcome, brothers. Unslaved Truth, Toilet Bowl Earth, and Snafu. Welcome. Welcome to you all.
I have made it into the gates of Talcott. What now, sirs?
Just be respectful, man. Don't come in convicted of opinions and allow us to have conversations.
We come to speak of a treaty, but you must listen for Unslavia.
Speak. Speak freely, please.
Go ahead, Mr. Tarek.
I'm not feeling that this is doing anything to benefit my panel or this stream. So, got a couple of others. Give this a shot.
Hey, sir, is my mic working now?
Yes.
The Empire is coming.
All right, thank you.
The Empire from Unslavia is coming to invade the gates of Talcott. I just wanted to let you know. Moose Revere, out.
Thank you, brother. I'm going to trust you served your purpose. Welcome, Toilet Bowl Earth.
Mr. Talcott, how are you, sir? How are you today?
Dude, two of my favorites, honestly.
What's up?
Really? No
Hey,
Yes.
I'm just here for the raping and the pillaging.
Unbelievable.
Welcome, Sarah. God bless, and welcome, Hank.
Oh, hey.
I
up,
feel
Hank?
blessed.
That dude's black.
Hello.
Wait a second. That dude's black.
Well, yes, and the lighting is
Well, wait a second. He's
enhances
black,
it.
though. I thought we weren't. These people weren't supposed to be around us.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, wait,
Remember
no.
what I just said
I'm in the
about
wrong-
you
I'm in
being
the wrong-
one of my favorites?
I'm in the wrong live chat. I'm sorry. No, he's supposed to be here. God bless.
What the fuck is
I'm sorry.
happening?
I thought I was in the wrong live chat. I'm sorry, but I'm in the right live chat. It was a complete mistake. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Welcome, Sarah, and welcome, Hank. I honestly do not know what's going on, but please, welcome.
Hello, Sarah. How are you, dear?
Good,
They were
good.
trying to invade you, and I came as reinforcement, and they're running back home.
Well, Jack, I'm here to
I'm
talk
sorry.
about
What did this gentleman say? What did he say?
logic and love. I'm not here for the whatever this is that's happening at the moment.
What are you talking about, baby? What are you talking about, baby?
Well, the name isn't baby for sure, but we were talking about war and Congress and how what he would say in his letter if he actually talked to them. That's what I thought we were talking about. I don't know what happened the last few minutes though.
No. Well, I'm here because I want to talk about it. So,
Okay.
okay. I don't know what happened. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah. This is getting interesting. Bear with me. Sarah, would you like to participate or not in trying to communicate with some of these?
With the people that you just moved?
Well, no, we've also got
His
Mr.
name
Paul.
alone right there says I wouldn't let him up. Like shit.
We've come for your head, Mr. Talcott.
Oh, that's actually Paul. Okay. I mean, if Paul wants to have an actual conversation.
To rid the world of your scourge and disease of deception and defalcation.
I know. Hey, Paul, I do love you. I love your humor. I love your timing. But, when I do my stream, I'm not so much on
your stream, Mr. Talcott?
Yeah, absolutely. It's my stream.
Hey,
Hello,
Jack. Hey,
Cynthia.
Sarah. I came to run interference. I'm going to go on mute. You two have a conversation. If something happens, I'm going to take care of it, okay?
Praise be.
See,
go ahead, Sarah.
Oh, I was literally just going to say you should go back to what you were talking about.
Well, this is the thing. The thumbnail today is fun. I don't even remember what it was. It was Super Jack. Where the heck? So the idea of today is fun for Captain Fearless, ending wars and government secrets. That is the dream I hold, and it's the passion I have. Fun is a part of this, and actually, admittedly, the entertainment factor, something I kind of lack. I understand that. But
What do you consider entertainment? Because some people find some things entertaining that I find annoying. So what do you find entertaining?
humor. Well, that's you know what? That is a very good question. And I don't know if I could even articulate it, but I know Paul has me laughing when he's in a good mood and he's on his timing, man. Holy crap, dude. He can work with anything. And
hey, Jack, did you ever think of asking this broad next to you if anything about her is perceived as annoying regularly by people? I'm sure she wouldn't want to know.
I'm sure. Some people love me and some people hate me, but
right. Well, this is the thing. Our opinions of others, they're not worthless, but
can she do one of her famous number breakdowns again where she completely drops the ball and just, mixes everything up? That was entertaining for me.
I don't know what you're referring to.
Right. Okay.
You'll have to refresh my memory.
Hey, I'm really wondering, Paul. Actually, no, I'm not wondering because the answer seems pretty clear. You're here for you, not me. So,
would you say that's a common theme for you as well, that most places you go are for your own agenda and benefit?
Well, you wouldn't be asking me.
Yeah, I know. Double, triple standards, right? It's crazy.
But Paul, actually,
Can you really move around?
I actually. Can
you please silence the fat Gorgon creature in the corner?
Yep.
That.
Yeah. So, well said, Paul. Paul, you asked the question, don't I go places just to serve myself? And no, Paul, this is the thing. I'm not like you think. And I've shared this often. I pray regularly, God, where may I serve? Where may I serve myself in growth or serve others? Where may I serve inspiration?
Talcott, I was just telling them on my side that I'm not a hater, so fair is fair. That was pretty good. You were quick on that one, on the ball. And you know what? Okay. Let me segue.
That was
being
Jack.
Can you silence the other fat Gorgon creature? Let me be more precise with my words. So I was laying in bed the other night and thinking of you, Jack. Oddly enough, I know that's gonna get him going. But I said to myself, what is this thing with Jack where he's always telling me about not wanting to entertain people? Because I recognized in him, he's a lot like me. He loves to laugh. He loves to joke around. And at times I see that you have this sort of talent and gift for timing and comedy. And I go, why would you not use your God-given talents and abilities and foster that and give that away to and with and for the people and the panel members, which will also create less obligation for you to have to save the world from its bitch-ass self? And I go, oh my God, Eureka. Maybe I could communicate this idea to Jack Talcott and we can form a new bond. And he could see that I really do care about him and his success. And he doesn't think that I'm actually trying to keep him from doing the work that we need to do on the ground. Quite the opposite. I just think that there's room for a little bit of everything. I'm a dreamer, Talcott. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
You're certainly not. And brother, actually, there was a thought. I was trying to remember it. I processed it earlier. It had to do with entertainment and me. I have grown into an entertainer. There's no denying it. So now the question is, what do I do with that? Paul, you and I could work together, but it's not going to be the way you think.
You always say this. We're doing it right now. You don't feel that in the room. The people feel it. I feel it. I know you feel it. We're doing the Gorgon creature is shaking its head so much the room is shaking. Please, it doesn't need to be involved in every. This is why we can't work together. You have so many angry, hateful, projecting people around you who don't like me because I don't respect them.
Paul, have you seen what happens when I venture to your panel? Did you ever
Oh,
notice?
come
any of
on. That's
those
the 100%
interactions?
characterization. It's like 1 out of 10 at this point. We get
Here's
along
the
like
thing.
fucking.
Brother, would you listen? Gosh. The reason you have so many disagreements with me, Paul, is because you don't listen. You don't understand. What you are experiencing, Paul, is being mirrored to you, not intentionally, but praise God. Praise God that you're feeling that you're being singled out and attacked as these ladies are sitting here silently, patiently.
I fucking love when you get riled up and angry. Take me now.
Let's continue this conversation at a different point, okay? Because
A point when this panel isn't a fucking big joke. I'm waiting for that point.
I told you, brother, both of us could clean our panel up and focus more on
No,
the
you can't, because you want to be liked too much and you want to be friends with these people who you don't respect, just like I don't respect them.
Paul, I'm sorry you think that, but it's not true. Okay. That's where we are different, right? I'm perfectly comfortable. I don't know what God wants us to do, but I know for a fact God has everything aligned for.
You got to remember how this works, Jack. You came to me, we talked, you started the panel, great stuff. All these people showed up who have their own agendas. It's got nothing to do with you or I or working together or anything else.
Paul,
you fall right into it.
Paul, you have not allowed us to work together. I have found ways to work with you, but dude, I'm ready to move on.
Okay.
And,
I mean, you're entitled to that, but I don't, when you say work together.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'd rather not move on, but.
What would you like to be different for us working together? How much of me and what I do that you came to me for do I have to change in order for us to work together?
You know, usually in a business or a collaboration or a partnership, you have these discussions in private, because this is where you're actually trying to build your clientele, your customers, or your viewers, or your subscribers.
Right, but there she goes again, little Miss Big Britches. She's never done what she's talking about. I'd bet on it. I've done it from the ground up, and she's going to tell me how to do it better. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Paul, your opinion.
We're literally here to have a conversation.
You know, in the regular corporate world where you're a slave, you would do X, Y, Z. In the real world where you're authentic and practice that, nothing has to be hidden from or lied about. You might want to learn about that world.
Well, Paul,
where real motherfuckers live, by the way.
I know you rejected what she said because your opinion of where it came from. But guess what? My number one thing that to answer your question of what would need to change, our communication. I don't like the way we've been communicating. It's been very ineffective so far. So
why do you have to like in order to work? Why do you have to like in order to work?
Unacceptable. It has been.
Why do you have to like in order to work? It sounds like a very unmanly quality.
Well, Paul, I care about my success.
Does every man like having to go to work every day, or they do what needs to be done or what's beneficial for everyone? You might want to start being a man.
Hey, Paul, let's come into this moment where I am going to.
Right here with you, bud.
Well, if you were here, right here and now is a moment of peace. Okay?
Right.
We can share peace. We don't have to pick up a new conflict. We can address disagreements as they come. We don't need to make a big deal out of disagreements.
Right. I agree totally.
I know. So this is Paul, God brought us together, and I believe everyone I have been experiencing, well, I'm confident this is how life works. God, the divine, brings together people for the purposes of sharing blessings, perhaps lessons, but even lessons are blessings. And I'm an easy guy to work with. I really am.
Are you really? Every person you've worked with, every career you've been a part of has thrown you out or given you a horrible report.
Hey, Paul.
That's weird. Weird, huh?
that's a manipulation of the facts.
No, that's what you've said, and that's what's been shown on record.
That is not what I said.
Okay, I'm not long for this broadcast, obviously, because
No,
you're interested in your
not.
feelings. I'm interested.
No, I'm interested in the truth, and your false narratives of me have been your problem for me, and I'm done dealing with your problems, dude. We can talk when you solve your own problems, and you can have a dialogue like an adult. Thank you for your patience, guys.
Jack,
You're
do you
welcome.
feel like he was trying to instigate you, provoke you into something? Or do you feel like, how did you interpret his behavior, not only towards you and over talking you, but towards Sarah?
His ego is being challenged, and
It could have been challenged like this when he was 4.
It could have been, but you know what? His path was different, and I saw the communication, the exchanges that were shared between him and his father, and I see where he gets some of those patterns. They're learned behaviors, but Paul is a grown man. And here's the funny, I think, funny part of this story is I am confident God is with us all, right? And this right here, it was inspired by the stories of Jesus, the Christ. So in my life, I've developed into and I've studied leadership. Leadership done the right way is done in the image of the Christ. It's done in service to others, transparent, honest, and giving. Now, Paul is a result of the boss mindset. And what I've learned, brothers and sisters, we actually all become that which we judge. I can't say that definitively, but in my own life, I judged alcoholics. I judged overweight people. I judged the military. I judged all these things and then became all these things. And guess what? Those patterns have been repeated throughout our collective. Through the revolutions and the fights and the wars, the revolutionary parts, they picked up a great part of the oppressive spirit. Humanity has been brainwashed, brothers and sisters, and this is our lifetime to change it. It's my belief that this is a message from God for us all to receive, to understand that faith. Actually, you know what? There's no denying God, honestly. If you're denying God, you're denying reality. And the thought I had earlier where I was in my monologue where I was going is to know God is to know peace. It could be that if we don't accept God, the idea of God, we're denying some part of our real experience. And it's logically, it makes sense. If we're not going to love the truth, we're going to imagine and love delusions. So this morning, my inspiration after hearing some of the war analysis and some of the descriptions of the world political climate, after seeing those, I am more inspired that this is my purpose. My purpose is to try and communicate with the world. The world can change. We can all know love. We can all know peace. And I think a way to communicate with the world, not only through here, is through Congress.
Jack, we're failing miserably at it. I'm going to say we, right? Because, look at what we're doing. I don't know. It's fucking silly. What are you talking about? Oh, my God.
Well, wait.
This is wild.
Julian, do you have questions or just?
I think he's trying to come in hot.
That's the point.
He's trying to come in hot. Clear the path for him.
Yeah, no, I'm not here with your mother right now, Flo. Say, I'm not doing anything
Woo,
like that. I'm trying
look
to
at that
talk to you,
torture.
Jack.
I told you he was coming in hot.
No, Jack, I'm just trying to talk to you, like talking about all this stuff. Oh, we need to communicate all this, but you kick people out who just.
That was lukewarm. He came in lukewarm.
It was super bland.
Yeah.
Spit that out.
He's trying to impress Paulie. And Flo, you were coming in hot. I turned your mic down a little bit.
Okay, sorry.
You know, I can understand doubt. I can understand disbelief, but the reactions from people, honestly, that's what blows my mind.
You know, before I hopped on, you were actually talking about or starting to talk about what you would actually say to Congress. And that is what I'm interested in hearing about. What would you actually say?
Well, thank you. It boils down to we deserve better leadership. The people in Congress can either change their ways, right, and start living with honor and integrity and actually caring about the role that has been set for them to deal with. This nonsense of political left and right and blah, blah, it's all bullshit, egoic nonsense that it can be controlled.
Have you heard about the whips in Congress on each side? That's their name. And their job is literally to keep people within party lines so they don't vote outside of it.
Yeah. Why do we allow that?
We kind of don't allow that. It's just they build up the parties to cover themselves. We had to break that up at a lower level so they can't do it anymore. I participated in politics since I was like a teenager, and I recently took a break pretty much since January 6th. So we need to leverage lower than just trying to talk to them, because there's machinery behind them that's keeping everything running.
Okay, but how does that keep running? Because the machinery behind there is the machinery behind them, but they are obeying systems and lobbyists, corruption, whatever. Either way, it is promoting war. It is funding the military industrial complex. It is continuing to allow poisons to be placed in our foods and in our airs and in our environment. This is insanity that we can change. I mean, how about this?
We know for a fact that lobbying does work. Lobbying does work. Louis Rossman has been lobbying for right to repair, and he has been getting successes. So we know for a fact lobbying does work.
Well, yes, it's corruption. Lobbying is legal corruption. And Julian, well, how does the panel feel about this? Well, never mind. It's coming from a culted slave. So,
he's so like bottom shelf with his enthusiasm, his fire. Like, God, he's just weak. Do better, Julian. If you're gonna be fucked up, at least be fucked up with some passion.
He's been to this stream a few times for the purposes of, glorifying him and Paul's ego. I've seen it. It's a silly little game that doesn't matter. Labeling a group they is hate, Jack. Choose love, brother. You're right, EBT. I don't mean a they, but trying to articulate the who, the how. Actually, Another thought I had when I was preparing to come online and talk about what I might say to Congress, the other part that is within me is all I need is the opportunity. Should God allow the opportunity to come forth, the right words will flow. That's why I try sharing these messages this way, and who knows who might hear what. But so if you can follow the logic of truth and love being God and the Christ, we're here to serve the truth, right? We're here to follow the way of love and serve the truth with each other. That's what the Christ did. He came and demonstrated, he walked the walk. That's what it was. There's an eternal being, the Christ consciousness, that was created and brought in form through the character of Jesus or Yeshua. And he demonstrated God's laws, right? God's laws are natural laws. And then we got natural laws should be common laws. But then we went from common laws into all this constitutional law, maritime law, and blah, blah, blah. We're here to live like children of God freely, safely, lovingly, with one another. We can.
Do you know where those constitutional laws and all of that stuff, where that originated from?
People, ideas.
It was during the Age of Enlightenment.
Yeah.
And they
This
were,
is another age, and it's a perfect opportunity to readdress, to reevaluate, I think.
Yeah, there's so many laws that Wolfram Alpha can't even tell me.
Hey, what about Jack asking Congress for like billions of dollars for a breakaway society, since it's our money and they spend it the way we don't want?
why would we ask Congress for our own money?
Because it's ours.
So why are you asking Congress for your own money?
I understand
what would Jack say?
I understand the concept. And as long as taxation has been participated with and is happening, and actually even without taxation, Congress and the Federal Reserve, they control the printing of money. Hey, John Thomas, that was actually kind of my idea a while ago when I learned of the Venus Project and the concepts of resource-based economy. These ideas, I thought, why in the hell is our government not funding a, future planning department or a peace department instead of all the fucking war department, defense department, all of this crap? If we focused on the future, well, sorry.
Well, that's what they're doing with all the new weapons development.
Well, yes, because
we don't trust that.
They're in the war mindset. And I got off John's question. My original idea was that maybe our tax dollars could be used to fund projects like that.
Absolutely.
So
can I say something about taxation too, from Christ's point of view? He asked Peter. He said, "Who do the kings of this earth take their tribute from? Their own sons or from others?" And Peter said, "From others." So the people who are exempt are a part of the system, are they not? They belong to the princes of this world. I mean, I'm not saying either way that we should or shouldn't. I'm just saying, if we try to exempt ourselves, are we not guilty by association as their children? I mean, there's two ways of looking at it.
This is my belief.
I hate the way they use it too, the money.
Well, and I believe we've reached an age of technology and development. We can outgrow money. We can, I mean, really, most of the money is not even bills. It's just accounting numbers and banking software. We can outgrow it. And I mean, really, the fiat currency, it's evidence that money's not real. And when are we going to wake up to what's real?
Yeah, I have a place you can look into. So copyright, we're literally pretending something that we have limited copies of is arbitrarily large amount based on how much hardware we have. We're pretending it's a scarce resource. We should just stop that. That's silly. China doesn't do that now. We should just set copyright.
Well, the solutions I'm offering, it would not, it couldn't, for it to be effective, the way I see it is that America and perhaps the developed world, but starting in America, we could lead the rest of the world. We could actually become the example for other nations to truly want to emulate by caring for each other, by working together towards resolving all these problems we've got. And you know what? All seriousness, it's not something I want to do, but I think God may want me to talk to Trump. I have tried in the past unsuccessfully, of course.
Yeah,
why do you think God wants that?
What's that?
Why do you think God wants that? That sounds more like what Jack wants, being projected to God.
Well, I started playing a lot of what ifs, right? What if the slim possibility Jack is another retelling of the Jesus story?
Ooh.
And so I played a lot of what ifs. Obviously, it's going to be different and different messages, and it's a different time. And I started looking at what it was I was doing. Well, teaching leadership the way of the Christ. And so at that, when I started going through all these understandings, revelations, whatever, when I was going through that process of transformation, Trump was president. And I, trying to see the good, trying to see the purpose in everything, I thought, well, shit, that makes sense. Trump now has the connections of all these nations from the past that maybe we weren't on such good terms because he sold out a lot of people. So now Trump has more connections that maybe the other parties might not have because he wasn't part of the old government system. So he's got even more connections. The guy has risen to, well, he was the boss on his show, game show, and then he rises to one of the most powerful positions on earth. I was like, so the punchline.
I think you have a better chance talking to Biden, to be honest, Jack. You have more in common with Biden than Trump.
Well, here, I'm actually the exact opposite of Trump. I am the antithesis of both Jesus and Trump. Trump is the opposite of Jesus. I am the opposite of Trump.
You're Jesus.
Yeah.
I am
the math
opposite.
On that was fantastic.
I am the opposite of Trump. I will stand on that because I understand leadership, the way of the Christ, and I lead nobody. There is nobody who is following. Well, there's the followers, but nobody who's really with me. And Trump, he's become one of the most powerful positions in this world. So I thought, should I be able to talk to him, actually be able to communicate and open his mind to what I know? Dude. That would be a transformation.
Do you have a Truth Social account? We could probably get that done today. I'm not sure how effective this would be, but we can get that done.
Well, And Trump would just have to ask whoever controls him, just like Biden would have to ask whoever controls him.
Could be.
Trump went to a Jesuit school, right?
So did I. Hush.
Jesus.
I want to defend that statement, Jack, as having come from God. As long as you're saying that Trump gives all of his money to you, like the rich young ruler, if he wants to save himself, give all his money to the poor. That can be Jack Talcott. And then he can go away knowing that I defend that could have been God talking to you about that.
I believe people can pendulum. You know, even though we swing way to the dark and the confused, I believe we can swing back to the light. And
the cupcake.
Well, if the goal is world peace, Trump, I mean, the way I imagined it, this is why I wanted to talk to him. If possible, something else I was thinking earlier, I've been having trouble communicating with people, but face to face, I am the energy transfer is more apparent. And it seems that, well, I can't even say that works anymore.
Jack, can I ask you something?
Please.
Some Flo said that was kind of important. So let's take the Republican or the Democrats, right? And let's take the party, whoever's acting as the leader or the head. And both parties have actors, right? So did we ever think of the one on top of them? Are they all in on the play or not? Because we keep thinking that Trump is against Democrats or Democrats against them. Aren't they all in the play? And we're all getting played by that, kind of?
You know that answer.
Well, yeah, I know the answer. Here's my next question, though. Like, say we go behind you, okay, and we get people to support you and petition the government, right, to make a change. But when you get there, and say, of course, they're not going to like a newcomer for some reason, whatever the case may be, and they say Jack has got to go. And these people are powerful. They got billions of dollars, and they can market things and paint a picture on you and pull anything from your life from the beginning of time till now, for example, to make you look like the bad guy. So how would that work if you had to go that route, playing against the actors?
That's not a situation that's even relevant to what I'm talking about. Unless, because what do you mean? I'm not trying to get to Congress or to the UN to try and fit in. I'm prepared to present the facts and the evidence that are undeniable, that prove peace is available. Peace is available right now. So we can stop there, but there's many other things which also include the insanity of keeping secrets, right? Some real simple messages of what the scripture actually means for us. And once people start grasping it, once the mindset of the Christic starts being accepted and understood and shared, and the body of Christ starts living amongst us, through us, with us, as us, holy shit, this world's going to change like that.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to play the hill for a bit just to get business done. It's not a big deal.
Well, Jack, here's my question. Why you've done a lot of, I know that you've come across the components of a goal, of setting goals, right? Why are your goals not meeting those? You're giving yourself goals that are not within the good goal setting boundaries.
I understand. They're out of reach, unrealistic. You're absolutely right. Where I'm at,
or not not breaking them down into ones that are within.
Oh,
the parameters.
It starts in my town. One way I see is in my town. Actually, I spoke to someone on the phone today. Said they said they may be willing to reach out on my behalf and try and investigate some of the relationships. So that's one way, but here's where I'm at. I can't convince the fucking neighbor next door to have a conversation with me. I don't control anyone. I can only offer what I can and present myself as I am. So for me, it would be a miracle to be able to speak to my son, to be able to speak to people from my past. That would be a miracle. So why not? Why not expand the miracle beyond my selfish desires? And what could I accomplish if I could speak to some people of influence? You know,
Well, then you're not setting a goal at all. You're wishing on a star.
I'm pursuing the goal of speaking to people in influence. I believe this right here and right now can be part of that process because we never know.
I'm pretty influential. I don't know if you heard, but I'm famous.
I've heard that. You are.
Jack, I agree with you. You have to start with your community. That's a fact, okay? I totally agree. But I think what Flow State, I think, was trying to say as well is, say you do start with your community and you get there and you are like a man of, putting things in order and you have a goal. Where do we go then after you get your community to talk to these people that are with influence? Or how is that process?
Every step will be figured out based upon the relevant facts, availability, circumstances. Okay. Where I'm at, honestly, I know how this can be twisted around, but in developing my faith, it's been since 2018. I haven't had a source of income. I haven't had commitments or any forward momentum on any of the goals except my own self. So living in the present, consider this concept, right? Follow the logic again. If God's presence is eternal, we are only now, right? So, so at every moment, God is present in the moment. It's up to us to rest in the moment, to be at peace in the moment, find gratitude in the moment, faith in the moment. The Spirit of Christ is the loving awareness of God and you. Okay? So the Spirit of Christ, which is eternal, is the loving awareness that's available through our minds, and it's available right now, always right now. And since 2018, I have been developing my focus on living right now with the in the back of my mind, with the energies and emotions of, I feel the way I believe my life is going to come out most of the time. And what I feel is I have no worry. My worries of money are very few and seldom. They're not as often as it used to be. And I haven't had any money. I've been learning how to live without the security of money, live without the security of relationships and social groups, living without, so that I think so I could understand and then try and help others understand what I've learned.
Hey Jack, I can't get you all the way to Trump. I can get you to like a stepping stone to Trump. It's his name is Pine Creek. He's pretty much it's Trump like he is atheist. He has a lot of money. He's anti woke, and he'll probably consider you woke.
Jack's medium woke.
Yeah, so I could probably get you to Pine Creek, and he'll probably love to talk to you.
Please and thank you, brother. Any ideas that we can explore? Please and thank you. I don't know what is possible. We don't know what is possible until we try, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Jack, can I say something real quick? And I'll give you just an example about the trying. I agree with you. You have to try. You have to give it a shot, right? Where I live, just my family, family name. There's about I want to say about 7,000 people. Not immediate family, but 7,000 with the same family name. Okay, so my sister ran for a city council about 4 years ago, right? And she promoted herself really well, and she had people behind her that were from the state and some other people that we knew. So with all that said, though, I don't think she was gravitating enough, for example, in terms of her message. She didn't get through, right? And other people didn't want her to be in the city council because these people are powerful and they don't want no change at most times. So the only question for you would be like, for you, say you have all the money and everything, that we go behind you and we support you and you get the people to round with you, I still think there's something has to be so different about you, like that would gravitate people to stay solid. Like no matter what, they're gonna change and they're looking for the change. And I'm asking you if you do know what that is yet or not.
I'm not sure I understood the confines of
the question was like, I think like for somebody to make a change in anything, any system, because the system has powerful people, so they don't want no change. They want to keep their pockets, where they're at.
Please.
And yeah.
What I believe I can do when given the opportunity is to present the benefits that are available through change, right? This is what I learned in coaching. And please, if this makes sense to you, try it out. Take a real honest look at your life today, the good and the bad. And right now, the state of war, the war climate, the direction of the economics, and all this other crap that's going on, there's a lot that can be improved. So in our own lives, we can do this too. Look at the reality of what life is, and then predict out in the future what's going to happen if nothing changes. If you don't change, what's going to happen in your life in the future. And when I did this, I was overweight. I was miserable. I was just not happy. I mean, I was starting to turn that corner. But then the other side is what can happen with changes in the future? What is the future you want? So with a visual, with an actual presentation of the bad versus the good, the consciousness will choose. But to do that, you got to bring clarity. To bring clarity to those other options, it requires the opportunity. Should anyone have interest in testing my ability as a coach, please feel free to reach out. No charge.
Smith.
Be respectful of the time. I've tried. Where I'm at,
I've decided that the thing about Smith is he doesn't actually want help. He wants attention. So you might want to not.
His way of getting attention, though, is to embrace the problem. And I've been there. I understand. Everyone's on their own path. What I do believe, though, and trust, is that these ideas of trying to bring these ideas of trying to speak to people in Congress started out not by me wanting to do it myself as much as when I was learning from these other people, I thought they would be great at speaking to the United States government, but I haven't been able to get a hold of the famous people, the influencers, or the authorities in pretty much any capacity. And here's my life too, brothers and sisters. This is documentation of my life. But when I discovered God and God became a part of my life, it was at the same time everything else went away. So I tried the traditional ways, all of the authorities. I tried all the agencies, like I tried the VA and the ACLU, and I tried, I don't remember. I tried a whole bunch of different places that are supposed to be there to help people. Well, everyone I talked to, I don't know what the hell happened. But then, so I figured, okay, so the systems failed me. The organizations failed me. I tried getting attention by media, tried all sorts of things. That didn't work. And so I figured, okay, this makes sense. At Jesus's time, he showed us the power of the one, right? One man changes history when he works with God. And so it became my thought, well, if all these agencies and organizations failed, maybe I'm supposed to go to the community. Oh, yeah, I tried churches too. Tried churches, everything I could think of that might make sense. It didn't work.
What kind of churches did you try?
Not your satanic cults, Hank.
No,
The
satanic.
Unitarian Universalist Church? That's a satanic cult?
Actually, the Unitarian Universalist Church is one of them, and that became a cool part of my story too.
Excellent.
Can we admit that Jesus is a bad example to emulate if we're trying to accomplish something? Because even though everybody knows about Jesus, every other martyr in history has just died.
Yeah, Muhammad would probably be a better choice, to be honest.
Hey, originally I wanted to be more like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. That's who I wanted to emulate.
I'm kind of cooking up my I'm cooking up my own theory that it's not an accident that all of the heroes end up dying, that it's part of the script that we're given.
Yes. It makes sense, right? It makes sense to condition the masses. You tell these stories, and Jesus is an example. You tell those stories to the kids about, how punishing it is to follow God, and how people die when they stand up for others. Yeah.
What better, if you were going to instill a mindset in a rebel, what better mindset to give them than, oh, I should die for my cause?
Well, there's that too.
Yeah, my goal is not to be a rebel. My goal is to be the new incumbency and have my rules be law, but my rules are more sane than the current rule set.
But Jack, I asked you like the previous question. That's exactly why I asked you that question. You get to the top and they don't want you there. They're gonna get you out of there, like Jesus, like anybody else. So my question again to you, are you ready for that? Like, is that what you want in life if you get there?
Yes. Okay. You know what? I don't mean to be.
No, you're fine.
I don't mean to be dismissive of the comment, but you better believe, absolutely. I'm fully prepared to die, and I'm prepared to go wherever God may take me. If that means I end up without shelter and, wandering my path, that's where I'll go. Guys, I have faith.
What if God has something planned for you that's not grand?
It hasn't been all cake and ice cream so far. I mean, I present that I know how blessed I am, but you know,
I'm just throwing it out there because I mean I think that peace comes from within, right? I believe in finding peace even in the midst of war and chaos and all that stuff, because it shouldn't be determined by the locus of control for your own inner peace should be inside of you. That's what I believe. So that's
Brother,
basically why I asked.
That's actually what I learned. And honestly, my story has similarities to many of the biblical ones. The story of Job, I've compared myself to that as
I was
well.
expecting that one. That's exactly the one that you don't want to be compared to as well.
Well, even that, if I make that comparison, I have to do so humbly because I haven't been filled with pain. My body is filled with pleasure.
You better knock on that mantelpiece.
Oh, knock on wood. I also.
But Job received multiple back what he lost. And regardless of your faith and regardless of what it is, you're going to go through something in life at some point. Regardless if you say it or not. Like, everybody's going to go through something.
There's no way to make that story not sadistic.
Well,
you know,
there is one way. He could have just bring the dead children back to life. Job's dead children back to life.
Did he bring them back to life, or did he have new children?
He had
new children. They didn't bring them back to life.
Right. Okay, that's what I thought.
Well, yes, there's stories about there being blessings after tribulations and trials. Now, I've considered possibilities in that, but when I was a kid, I used to spend a lot of time thinking about wealth and crap, and I really don't care about wealth. I'd love to keep what I've got. I'd be ecstatic to be able to keep what I've got, and to stop losing things would be amazing. But think about this too. If in fact this is what my life purpose is, that the background of military and union was to help me grow into leadership for the purpose of bringing inspiration and encouragement, bringing better leadership to our world. If that's real and the live without fear has a meaning, I think the world will reward a guy who's involved in trying to bring peace. If I don't die. If I do die, I don't care.
We're all going to die, Jack.
And Job was more so a story about the debates all of his friends had. And everybody was telling him, hey, it's because you did this, that happened. And if you would have done this, maybe that didn't happen. And so it was more so the debate. Like, a huge part of that book is the debate all the friends had. It truly is just a couple of chapters of his demise and his.
I haven't read it in like 20 years. So,
yeah, I wrote it out. I was going through a really hard time in life, and I hand wrote it out just to stay focused off of what I was going through.
Did you deal with the friends telling you it must be your fault and not faithful?
No,
your time was not as hard as Jack's.
I learned how to be a better friend. That's what I took away from that whole book, is not to be that extra burden on top of a burden. In the story, there's one friend who never speaks until I don't remember their names, who doesn't speak until the end of the conversations. He sat there quietly. And sometimes when you're going through something, you just need someone to listen to you, just to know you're not alone. And you sure as the heck don't want to be going through something, trying not to be alone, but the people you're around are like pointing their finger at you. So that's what I took away from it. And then he lost everything. Like, it was his cattle, his children, his home, and it all came back in reverse order. That was something that really stuck to me when I was going through that. Is like,
what do you think the
gonna all be
significance of that was? That's interesting. What do you think the
I don't.
significance of the order is?
It was just interesting that sometimes things can come in reverse order of what we think they should have been. And so when you go through something, you're so caught up on this one thing will fix it. This will take care of it. If this didn't happen, this wouldn't have been, that you're not looking past that and seeing that something greater's there. Something greater's going to be there, and it's going to be more than what you thought, but that feeling you felt or wanted to feel, that peace is going to be within.
Yeah, I was just about to respond to that comment. This realm is our home, at least for now. You don't have to believe it is forever, but we can definitely prove that it is all of our homes for now. What?
Yes and no.
What's the no?
The heavenly realms are here and now as well as the world. And the heavenly realm, that's when you take off in the meditative bliss and the
but which one do you default to? Which one do people default to?
Mostly they default to the world. Yes. And I'm growing more in that my time is more spent, less time here and more time. I don't know how to explain it. I'll figure it out. But I am in the world, but I am not of the world. That's the lesson I learned.
But I mean, I think that people should be fully immersed in the world, since it is where we're at and we are here now, and it is our home, at least for now. And I think that I just don't like that sentiment. It's very throwing the flag. Oh, whatever. This isn't our place after all. Well, yeah, it fucking is.
So sometimes like it's easy. Like I have a friend who always wins the lottery. Like he makes at least 3 times more than I make just winning the lottery, right? And I'm all like, what? And he'll even call and give me the numbers, and I still won't go play him. Like, what's wrong with me, right? And it can be really easy for me to get jealous of that. And I'm talking like thousands of dollars. And it can be easy for me to become jealous and bitter towards that because, hey, I'm in the world. He has that. How come I don't have that? We're both here. We're both good people, and versus I don't look at it like that. I look at it like, man, he's got a big family. He has people he takes care of in his family. I'm like, man, good for him. He got that money he needed. Like, so that's in the world, but not of the world. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not jealous or envious of what he have, and it would be easy to be that way because who wouldn't just like to go throw down $10 and make thousands back? But I understand that that's God's blessing him to provide all that he needs. In the same way he did that for that man, he will do that for me as well. And I have to trust that. So
I honestly disagree.
I know.
I'm just saying gambling in any way possible, any shape, form. I think the devil is testing your will and your faith because just from my experience in life, I used to gamble. I used to have a gambling issue. I couldn't leave the casino without having at least 10 grand on me. If I'm not up at least 10 grand, I couldn't leave. But what did that lead to? There's nights I won 50 grand, right? And I said, I'm not going to touch it. Not even 2 days later, all of it was gone. And I was taking money out of my business to gamble again. So again, it was a test for me and I stopped gambling. So if somebody's blessed by gambling, I think that's just maybe God's trying to test your faith. That's not the faith you should be in or blessed by God in any way, shape, or form.
My takeaway is you just heard the whole gambling story. You didn't hear the story of how I saw that as a blessing for him. No, and I'm not judging. I'm not judging anybody.
I think they can both be correct.
Shouldn't have been gambling.
They can both be correct.
Mm-hmm. Life is a gamble. And the message I got, you've found that mindset to be grateful for others, to see others receive blessings. That's a sign of maturity, honestly.
Well, it's when y'all were saying how can you be in the world but not of the world? I wasn't looking at that. That's all I'm trying to convey, is that I wasn't looking at that money like, oh, I need that too. That's the way the world looks at the money. I'm looking at the blessing. And that's just what I was trying to paint a picture of what that looked like. I'm not sure if I painted that picture good or not.
No, I've seen it. I've seen it.
I want to point out the other way as well. It is real easy for us to find envy, to get caught up with envy when you see others receiving blessings. Another prayer that I'm more often sharing is, thank you, God, for what I do not know. I don't know what it's like to be living in Palestine right now in the Gaza Strip. I don't know what it's like to be in a lot of different situations. So I'm very grateful for what I do know. Matter of fact, that is my prayer, honestly. Thank you, God, for what I do know. What I've been allowed to learn.
I got you.
Well, we all share a little bit of God with us. We all share a little bit of truth, a little bit of wisdom with each other. And I've been blessed to meet people all around the world and to live a pretty cool life. I'm excited to see where it might go.
I like that attitude. No shade to throw at it.
Respect, man.
No, I respect that, Jack. You being saying like about people like where you at right now and not having all the knowledge, because sometimes having a lot of knowledge also is a curse.
I actually
sorry, go ahead.
I actually think some intellectuals deal with that as a curse, because if you learn a lot of the way the world, it can weigh heavy on the mind. If you don't have faith, if you don't have the spiritual aspect, I went through that. So whatever background or exposure to a loving creator you may have found in your past, I encourage you to explore it. I mean, I don't know.
No, I totally agree.
I think that's the solution for the world, honestly. For the nation states to end the state-sponsored terrorism, there's going to have to be some forgiveness. There's going to have to be people can choose peace. That's what I want. I'd like to have some conversations with people in authority, and let's find out why. Why can peace not happen? Why is diplomacy not an option? Maybe there's some.
That's a question to ask yourself, not them.
I can't come up with an answer.
Why can't peace happen?
I can come up with an answer for myself. So diplomacy is not an option in pretty much in cases where it's just we can't conversate. We just do not understand each other. We can understand what the words mean, but the sentences make no sense. So we just default to force of will. So my solution is, since talking hasn't been working, at least constrain the violence so we can hurt fewer people. Like if have a martial arts tournament instead of an all-out war. That way we reduce the amount of people who are getting hurt to the people who's good at hurting people.
What if the people in power need the bloodshed because they need the blood sacrifices for the people they actually work for and worship?
Continue to allow it? I mean, I understand everyone's got their own agendas and their own desires, but to me, that comment, peace is chosen. People choose to fight. People choose to fight. People choose nations. People in positions in nations choose to start wars or choose to engage in wars. I'd like to remind the citizens that supposedly represent America that peace is an option. And frankly, I believe the world, humanity deserves peace. We deserve better leadership.
And
you asked, what if they feed on bloodlust? It's possible. But again, my faith is in God, and I know God moves through us. God works through us. And so if God somehow, some way allows, if this is part of my experience, I know God will be with me when I speak, and that the truth is very powerful.
You know what I think, Jack? I think Sarah was on point on something here, because I think this is, people are sometimes fooled thinking this is a physical fight. This is a magical fight. This fight will only be defeated by other magical forces that will play the same act and the same play, and eventually they'll just zero themselves out, hopefully, and then we get to live in peace. I don't think this is just a physical fight that you see bloodshed. It's more of a sacrifice for the magical world.
Yes, we must take over the narrative to have a chance of stopping this BS.
All those principalities and powers that we put to the government, the physical government, they're actually talking about fallen angels. Those are ranks of angels. Principalities, powers, dominions, those are ranks of fallen angels that are actually the ones in charge of the people that you're wanting to go talk to in the government or in the UN or in Congress or wherever.
Right.
That's who they serve. They don't actually serve the American people.
Okay.
They say we
yes,
the people. They're not talking about us.
I know, Sarah.
Okay.
You think so? Given that you're here, I'm getting, it's unsaid from you, but I'm getting again that it's not worth even talking about.
No, it's talking about it. It's the audience. Like you, I think you should be talking to us, people like us, everywhere.
And what are we gonna do? I mean, I am talking to us. I'm encouraging, and here, even with your what you said, yeah, I view the principalities. It could be and demonic forces, fallen angels. It could be that, and it could be the structures that man has been obeying. I think the two are intertwined because it is a spiritual battle, but essentially this is what I'm saying. We have free will. If those people who are making choices that affect us, if they are choosing to obey dark forces, dark entities, they need some help. They need to wake the fuck up and realize it's not acceptable for us anymore.
Most of them have gotten there to the position that they're in because they were given everything they ever wanted. So most of them were awakened, and then they were fooled when they faced the adversity.
All right, Sarah. Okay, you've got disbelief.
It's part of the process.
Okay,
and
so
let me jump in.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, any movement that's gotten 10% of the general population behind it has always succeeded. And I think that what Sarah's saying is that would be a better route to impact change than to try to convince people who are likely blackmailed if they're even acting against their will.
I agree.
And chances are they're not acting against their will. They're not. They want to do it.
Okay, so
if you truly want to change law, like if you truly want to change law based off of the actual physical system that we're in, you need to do it at the constitutional level, which means you need the states to ratify it rather than going to Congress. You need to get the states to pass it.
Okay.
And maybe we don't have enough power to change the law. We need to at least have enough people on our side that we just nullify in court, so this law's held up until we can get rid of it later.
Objection.
Okay, so Sarah, we're not talking to the puppets. We're not talking to the people who are in control. We're not talking to the people who can rewrite the laws. I'm talking to you guys here on the panel and whoever's tuning in. Okay. So what should I say, Sarah?
To who? To the people here?
To you guys.
Well, I think most of the people here are already somewhat aware. So what we need to do is figure out a strategy to get the message out to people that aren't awake. But a lot of the problem that I find with people that are awake is they show people. I'm going to give an analogy here.
It was nice knowing you, Sarah.
That are unawake. Let's say they're in 3rd grade for math class. So they're learning long division. But we're trying to show them a derivative through calculus, because we've gone down all these red pills, we've got all this information, we found this foundation, and now we see what's really happening. But all the people that are awake haven't done that process yet, but we're trying to show them derivatives when they're still at 3rd grade level math. So
who is that?
People that are unawake. No.
Oh,
I think most of the people here are already awake, but people that we need to get to are still asleep. They're still at the 3rd grade level math. And we can't just show them derivatives and expect them to get it. We have to go to where they're at. We have to hold their hand, go with the long division and multiplication, then go to basic algebra and work our way up to derivatives for them to get to where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think you should practice on the Pine Creek, because he's trying to pull people back to sleep with this reactionary rhetoric. So practice on him. He'll be good practice for you.
Thank you, Hank. I appreciate that. It's actually something I can explore and use. So, Sarah, you didn't answer my question, because when I brought up the suggestions I have, you've got all sorts of disagreements, and you want to tell me that I'm trying to talk to the wrong people. So you said I should focus on here and the viewers, the people I can reach. So so you pointed out, all right, there is another problem for those of us who are awakening to different things, and that there's foundational levels of knowledge that have to be overcome. So now what?
So, well, I don't know how to do this on a mass scale, which this is what I would like to discuss, maybe, potentially, but you have to drip feed them information. Like, we're always talking about planting seeds, but I don't see anyone truly planting seeds on someone that doesn't already have their plant growing. We need to, it's the same people here. So we have to figure out how to work as a team by branching out.
So
do you have any suggestions?
Yeah, so we can't really do it on a mass scale, but we can do it on a local scale a lot of times till it looks like it's a mass scale thing, but just a bunch of coordination.
So what I heard Sarah say is that there's a lot of people who just aren't there yet, and so we need to educate them. Am I right, Sarah? So I guess I would, like, immediately in my mind, I went to a movie. And so what things do you think needs to be educated? I'm not asking this for you to answer right now. I'm saying this is what now needs to be determined. What can we educate and make it easy? And then now how are we going to promote it, right? So in my head, I'm seeing Jack as Mr. Rogers. And instead of like doing that, the other stuff, like the way he taught the kids, is he's now saying little bits and pieces that just interact people starting to think. But that's just my creative mind thinking. But to determine what all we need to teach people, though.
Yeah.
I think it's very simple. I've tried offering it many different ways. God is the truth. We can know the truth. We can know the truth by eliminating excuses and blame, And when we seek the truth and know the truth, without excuses and blame, we would not have politicians and media lying to us. It's only our excuses and our blame saying it's their fault. So what I would offer, the simple message, I think, the way of the Christ is to honor the truth. But that's, people have been trying to explain that, I guess, for thousands of years. So there's that.
I think, I mean, one thing that really opened my eyes is truly looking at language, because most of the reasons people are deceived is because they're misinterpreting or misunderstanding what is truly being spoken. I mean, just the word government alone is eye-opening when you actually learn what that word truly means.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I'm creating like a clothing line that just explains that, just to have people wear out in the open, and just so people can see it. Just put that little seed in their mind when you're walking by strangers, where it'll tell you that government literally means mind control. And they'll be like, what does this mean? What does this mean? Like, just planting that tiny little visual in their head, even if they don't get it, even if they don't understand it, that is a seed.
Mm-hmm.
But getting people to understand the language and looking to the roots of the words will help them really understand things. Like the Bible itself is full of deception because of language. So I don't know how we teach people to really understand language, because that's how they're mind fucking us.
Well,
like
it's
1984. Like they say, you know, you want in the peace department, but
yep,
that peace department is probably going to end up being the war department.
I know.
Like,
yeah, or the defense department.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it has come down to. Hey guys, I actually I think I'm going to wrap this up early.
All right.
Not
Hey,
to
Jack,
be that guy, but I got another opportunity in 20 minutes. Yes, Chuck, please.
Don't take this the wrong way now and beat me up.
Man,
But
now you set yourself up. Go ahead.
I know, but how can you expect to achieve an answer to conflict on a national or global scale when you haven't resolved conflict at the lowest level in your life? With I'm going by the words you said, your
Hey, Chuck.
family,
Yes.
friends. I'm not beating you up.
Chuck,
but until
amen. Should I accept your doubt? You want me to start carrying your fucking doubt too?
No,
yeah,
it's
I've
not
been. Hey,
doubt.
Chuck. Hey, Chuck,
It's
I'm
not
answering
doubt.
your question. I'm answering your question.
Okay.
You've been a witness. I have been seeking. I hope you've seen that I've not been the one who's really been attacking as much as trying to resolve disagreements. I trust in God that eventually God will move the mind and heart of someone in my life. So, Chuck, yep, your doubt, go ahead, keep your doubt. You can even go gamble. Go bet against me if you want.
No, it's not doubt. What I'm saying is I had the same problem until when I quit drinking and cleaned up my side of the street.
I'm not you, Chuck.
Jack, yes, you are.
Okay.
No,
all right.
Well, what did it say?
Hey, Chuck, you offered your question. I answered. What more do you want? I'm ready to shut down, please.
Good show, Jack. Even though you're pissed off and it's kind of somber in here, it was actually kind of a good conversation. And I know I pissed a lot of people off with my Jesus comments, but it's okay. They needed to hear some things, and we all need to hear some things. So write some goals and shit, and everybody cupcake.
Praise be. Thank you, Flo.
All right, Jack, thank you for having me. And I just want to say one thing before I leave. I think Sarah's 1,000% right on that language. you have to understand the language. It's a double language, and they're using it for a lot of different things that you can't see, especially magical stuff. Thank you for having me. You have a great night.
Thank you, brother. God bless
Yep.
you.
Well, thanks, Jack.
Jack, I wasn't trying to fight with you. I was just trying to get you to see that maybe you need to do more.
You want me to receive your doubt, your lack of faith, and you wanted to do it publicly. Well, here's something I've realized, and I recommend to each of you after the experience I've had. If you do have someone in your life that you see in making some mistakes, try to reach out to him privately. Offer some actual facts instead of just fucking insults and nastiness.
Jack,
Whatever.
do you really think that Chuck was being nasty to you?
No, but I know he's triggered me several times. I know that his doubt, what purpose did he come up here on my platform, wait for the time to speak, only to offer what? Doubt and distinguish my character? Jack, you don't have any peace. Right. Am I to be blamed? So if his purpose was not to help me, I didn't see help.
But I think that his purpose was just an observation, and not help you. You know, like if you're gonna preach patience, and
I know
you get uncomfortable.
Everyone wants to test you.
No, I'm not trying to test you, Jack. I'm just saying that I know who you are, and I know you've been working on your patience and what you do.
Jeff, you don't know who I am.
Okay. I don't totally know who you are, but I know
if you did, Jeff, we'd have had different conversations by now. You might have accepted my invitations and offers to talk, but obviously that was not in the there was no want or desire from you for that. So thank you for coming up and joining the panel, Jeff.
Okay. There wasn't not a want and desire, Jack. So.
Oh, I know. Your want and desire was shown by what you did not want or desire. It's human nature. Jeff, I'm not saying anything. You're free to be you, okay? Chuck is free to be him. Paul is free to be him. Trump is free to be him. You know, Biden, everyone can be themselves. Coming on this platform and pointing out for what purpose? To place doubts in the minds of others? Who's this? Snafu did this stuff to me the other day. And his dumbass wants to come here.
Snafu's not good at it. He needs to train.
Well,
they're a little different. I think other people are more delicate, so we have to tread lightly. And it could be constructive criticism, but I don't know if you take it as that way.
Constructive is helpful, Jeff. I'm sorry to keep speaking over you. I appreciate you. You are a man who cares. And by the way, it was nice seeing you back too. Okay.
Thanks. And I'm not trying to. I just know that I know you're working on yourself and your patience and all this other stuff, but it seems like you get really upset very quickly, and I don't want to be the one that triggers you either. But I think,
guys.
So, anyways, blessings, much love. I'm here. I got your back.
Thank you, Jeff. God bless.
Okay, so I don't think there's anything wrong with getting upset very quickly. I have my triggers, even though no one's found one yet. But I'm also looking forward to your conversation with Pine Creek, so we can get the message out to more people. I know for certain he would like to talk to you.
Hank, sincerely, thank you, brother.
Thank you. See you later.
God bless. You have a good night.
Well, I I thank you, Jack, for letting me up. Sarah, I love the idea of the shirts and the merch. And so please, whenever you get that ready, make sure you let us all know how we can support you and order shirts from you, okay? Because that's what we're here for, to honor the network. Jack, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and just change your name to Job Talcott. I definitely saw a lot of Job today. I saw a lot of friends coming at you, and although they were coming in love and in peace, I just see that it's not beneficial to you right now. So I just want you to know I appreciate you coming up every day, staying strong. I know it can't be easy. Kudos to you though for going hard in the yard. All righty, guys.
Thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate you. And I'm going to consider those words too. I think you're right.
Well, thank you, Jack, for having me. I do think this was a good conversation. And I don't have very many ideas on how to actually implement what I've said. I hope that's something that we can actually, on these panels, have all of these minds come together and kind of come up with creative ways to plant seeds. Because what we've been doing in the past, I think, creates a lot of triggering for people that we're going to have to become creative about it and be a little more subtle, where we're kind of implanting in the subconscious, kind of like just wearing a shirt. Like, we're not directly invading anyone's space, but they can observe it and see it, and that in itself is a seed, and it will just open their mind just a little bit and then create some curiosity for them to go down the rabbit holes themselves. So I don't have all the ideas, that's for sure. I need help on creating ideas, and I hope that's what we can actually do on one of these panels. So
Respect me as well. Thank you, Sarah. God
thanks,
bless.
Jack. Have a good day.
You as well.
I see, I caught you closing down.
I was just shutting down. I've got another, there's an online course I'm going to attend in about 10 minutes.
All right, tell me about it later, man.
Respect. Thank you, Joe. Lots covered on this stream. Holy cows, I forgot. We had Paul Unslaved, TBE, and then it calmed down a little bit, and we had some interesting questions. I would love to talk to Donald Trump. I think I addressed that one. New Age BS, Christ consciousness. The Word of God is the mind of Christ. The Word of God. The words are in our minds. We are in the mind of God. It's through mind, our mind, God's mind, that we experience. But then we can drift away from God's will, God's truth, God, the Christed love. We can drift away from that should we choose. You know, as I say, we've got these demonic forces, these little devils in our ears saying, it's okay. You can, a little temptation, maybe a little fuel of the anger. We've got those voices in our mind, the anti-Christic, that's in there. We've got free will. It's all mind. That's what I learned. Can't just choose peace. You must be peace. I think I brought that up, but the point of that is people choose to fight. Those who choose to fight can choose to be peace, to offer peace. But peace defeats the purpose of the ego. See, the ego is there to protect us. And if there's nothing to be afraid of, if there's nothing to attack, nothing to defend from, nothing to mate, the ego, it's got nothing to do. So we can rise above all this. Chuck, if you're still there, brother, I know that you do not intend offense. I know that many people do not intend offense. However, I am urging you to consider the fact that in my experience, God brings people into my life for their egos to come up. And when I see the ego, it's these people projecting their behavior onto me. So Chuck, I would encourage you, If you're judging me as not cleaning up the past, perhaps you've got something from your past that could be cleaned up, maybe to help you move forward. Now, it is true that you can't move forward without cleaning up the past, but in the past, I used to ask for help. Today, where I'm at is I'm inviting, just like God and the Christ invites, we can invite each other to join us for celebrations, for praise, and for efforts to work forward. Hey, actually, while we've still got a number of people here in the chat, please, a question I was considering, maybe I thought about doing this for the members, but creating a strategy group, a purposeful time set aside for those who join. We will evaluate goals, strategize, find action steps. We can meet frequently or seldom. I don't know. It's an idea that I'm thinking of. I've been wanting to form a mastermind group, ideally stuff like that, doing it in private, but I'm willing to be public. I don't care. My problems are I have no secrets. I have no problems. Brothers and sisters, I got love to share. I got gratitude. I got enough gratitude to, I don't know, to keep me happy. Hey, brothers and sisters, sincerely, please support the channel how you can. Support the messages of peace while you can. Share the peace with yourself. Allow yourself, if you've got conflicts and disagreements with someone, if someone's really upset you, think about it. Think about how good it feels not to be in a conflict. Think about how good it feels to have no regrets, no guilt, not because you're in denial, but because you're honest and intentional. Brothers and sisters, I know I'm growing. I'm improving every single day. I'm paying attention. I hope you are too, brothers and sisters. And I know I've shown some of my reactions, some of my emotional pain, I guess, my wounds. I've also showed you some of my humor, some of my inspiration, and I thank you. I hope you do find some entertainment. I think I hit a bunch of topics here. Brothers and sisters, thank you again, sincerely. Peace for everyone. Choose love. Until next time, live without fear. Thank you, and God bless you.